Hello, everybody. Just give 15 more seconds for folks to join in, settle in. Okay. Hi, everyone. So my name is Sugam. I'm the co-founder and CTO at Docket. Just have a chat message here. Let me see if everyone's, yeah, that's just a welcome message. Great. So thank you for joining the webinar today. We are going to cover a lot of things around how to evaluate various AI solutions in the market that are coming your way as you're trying to modernize your accounting practice, your firm. We'll also have a quick tour of how Docket is attempting to provide its solutions through AI for your accounting firm practice. We'll have a session towards the end for Q&A as well. Welcome again. Thanks for joining in. Just a few housekeeping things. This will be recorded and you will get in the recorded session via email at the end. If you have any questions, we will have a Q&A session at the end as well. Please type in your messages in the chat. And if we couldn't if we couldn't get to any of your questions due to time constraints, we will follow up after the webinar. And yeah, feel free to post questions during the webinar as well. If I'm unable to get to them during the course of the presentation, I'll take it up at the end of the session. We'll start off with a poll. So first, tell us about your top accounting challenges. It'll launch a poll in your Zoom shortly. Let me just give you a quick walkthrough of these options. It should have popped up in front of you now. Are you spending too much time on bookkeeping work for your clients? That's the first one. Are you struggling to scale your practice, to add more industries into your practice, more clients from different industries in addition to what you currently offer? Is document collection a big problem for you? Do you allocate people on your side to just do that job? Are you looking for solutions to streamline that? Is month-end closing, getting books ready on time every month? This is a practice you have to do every month or sometimes every quarter, sometimes in cash basis clients just at the end of the year. Is that very time consuming and error prone? And anything else? Yeah, if there's anything else, please feel free to respond in the chat with what are the other challenges that you're seeing. I'm going to vote here as well, month-end close. Okay, let me take a look at what responses are we getting. So give me a second. I'm just trying to switch my window here. Polls and quizzes. There we go. Sorry, some technical things to see where the answers are coming through. Oh, there we go. Cool. So 35% of folks have mentioned too much time on daily bookkeeping. That seems to be the most time spent on the tasks. And the second one right behind it is document collection, where you're trying to chase clients for documents. Right after that is scaling the practice and the month-end close. But yeah, seems like spending too much time on bookkeeping seems to be the biggest challenge for everybody. I also hear in the chat checking the books, closing out on time, and preparing and finalizing for the tax returns. seems to be also some problems that the folks are seeing. Cool, thank you. So let's focus on the next set of things here. The agenda for today's webinar is going to be, first, we will go into the basics for accounting in terms of how AI is going to be transforming the practice, what you should be looking out and expecting from AI. We look at the solutions, the current landscape, what vendors are offering. And we'll also then go through how you should be evaluating these vendors, what you should be looking out for to make sure they're actually solutions worthy enough for your accounting practice. Then we'll follow up with a short presentation of Docket solution, what we call as a hands-off bookkeeping offering. We'll see a quick tour for a few minutes on how Docket makes it happen. And we'll also then dive into how our prospects are seeing ROI when they are implementing Docket for their accounting firm. And then we'll go to some Q&A at the end. So first, just going through some of the AI basics for your accounting practice. How AI works, that's an important thing to understand. It is, there is always a margin of error in any kind of prediction, any kind of solution that you'll get from AI. It's a probabilistic intrinsic system. So things like if it has seen certain patterns, certain kinds of ways of doing accounting, and when it's doing something based on that, it will have sometimes some margins of errors. But of course, as you're giving more feedback to it, those margins of errors go down. But always expect that and be wary of it. Accuracy is a very important element of that you need in your accounting solutions. Core capabilities that we see in the market are around extraction of data from invoices, documents, and also coding of these transactions. These are some of the very time-consuming areas in your entire accounting workflow that you go through month over month. Data quality, very important. AI is learning from data, and if your data is not good, you are not going to get the kind of results that you want. Not just the margins of errors, which would always be there, but you would significantly get very unexpected results, and if your data is not clean and with good quality. Human in the loop. This is where you have to ensure that the data coming from AI, that the predictions are accurate. So having the humans in the right places. For example, if you're filing tax returns, making sure the output is good enough for you to be able to file the tax returns, or if you're sending the financials to investors or other folks. Oh, I think my screen froze here. My apologies. I think we must have missed out a couple of things here. Okay, my apologies. I'll just run through this slides to just walk you through what I just spoke through. This is what we just covered. This is what I'm talking through right now. Okay, we didn't miss much. So yeah, human in the loop element is what we were talking through. Is important to have the right folks in the right areas in your accounting workflow as you're using AI in automating that entire workflow. Understand the known limitations, even if you're not providing a good quality scan, if there is scribbled writings on the documents that are being scanned through, you're not going to get good results out of it. And if there are also vendors or transactions which the system hasn't seen in the past, or specific kind of clients have specific needs on how to categorize certain types of transactions a certain way, or they have specific requirements and standard operating procedures. So you have to ensure those are limitations where generic rules do not apply. And there will be cases like that where AI might not be able to do the job. But it's more important, again, to ensure that you have the inputs and the AI configured correctly as well. Governance and controls for any important pieces in this workflow, like filing the tax returns, making specific payments before they are approved by the right folks, even if invoices are uploaded and you have approval controls, the approvers have to be looking at the invoices and approving them before they get paid out, even though you have AI extracting the data and doing a lot of data entry work. So there are going to be important controls in place and important areas where you need to have that stamp of approval, like tax returns and such. I think that's an important piece to keep in mind as well. And then finally, what are the metrics you're looking at to evaluate these solutions? If you're deploying AI, how do you make sure, how do you measure that AI is working for you? That's important too. And in there, it's more about what kind of involvement do you still have in that workflow with AI, automating pieces of that workflow? How much do you have to still review? What kind of precision in the job that AI is doing, versus how much feedback do you have to give it to make it get better? So all those are important metrics to also keep in mind as you're modernizing your practice with these solutions. So next, it's about the landscape. Let's take a look at what kind of solutions you're seeing in the market. These are the four broad categories. RPA solutions. RPA stands for Robotic Process Automation. These are very rules-based systems. A simple way to think about it is just having in an invoice queue, having something going and clicking on a button, an invoice page shows up, and it's able to go in and click another button, just kind of reducing the amount of clicks you would have to do on your screen, having a robot do it. So something as simple as that. All of these require very sophisticated rule building to be done in certain cases. And in certain cases, if it's a job simple enough that you're just doing over and over again, then setting up an RPA solution for that might be simpler. But at the end of the day, these are rules you would have to put in. And sometimes these rules could be even in categorizing transactions, where you are constantly managing the rules, creating new rules based on how you would want the categorization to be done for transactions of a specific client. These are good for fixed flows. If you have simple tasks, you're doing it again and again. Naturally, just the word says robotic process automation. Instead of you being the robot, it's better to deploy a solution like that. It is high maintenance. It is brittle as soon as you try to scale. So keep that in mind. LLM wrappers, we are hearing since the oncoming of ChatGPT, this has really transformed various industries, and solutions that are coming out into the market are many times just wrappers around LLMs, around ChatGPT like solutions. So keep that in mind. And this kind of generic, these kind of wrappers mostly are around the generic LLM solutions that ChatGPT and other similar LLM providers provide. They're quick to deploy, and keep in mind on hallucination and other kinds of margins of errors that these solutions could still have, but they're pretty powerful compared to traditional RPA solutions. Fine-tuned vertical AI. These are specific solutions if you're seeing where a full end-to-end solution for specific industries, maybe in certain cases, specific areas of the accounting workflow, very vertical focused. Docket as a solution also is to a certain extent a very vertical AI solution as well. It kind of has specific industries which it goes and provides a holistic solution to it. So these kind of solutions are very end-to-end solutions for either specific industries or a specific workflow in accounting. Now here, naturally, because they are vertical focused, good at specific tasks, they're going to be fine-tuned as much as possible to do that specific task very well. So they're good for specific workflows, but again, making these really accurate and perform really better requires lot of R&D. It does require very good cleansing of data. It requires what is called as MLOps, the machine learning operations, having infrastructure and work around the DevOps and the infrastructure to make these kind of systems work and deliver the kind of high quality that you would expect from a vertical AI solution. Then the last class is agentic solutions. You must be hearing agentic solutions coming quite a bit now. The word has been in the entire 2025. It's expected to have more and more AI agents assisting everybody in different workflows, not just in accounting. Now, in these kind of solutions, you would expect agents to be deployed to do different parts of the workflow. And these agents are also usually built around these LLMs as wrappers, but more focused on being able to do the specific task autonomously. Just with specific style of commands and directions, these agents could do certain tasks. Now, they could be, in this case, purpose-built for accounting tasks. You would want them to integrate with your systems, and you would want them to orchestrate the actions between parts of the workflow, depending on where you want to deploy this agent. Again, beware of the margins of errors, the hallucination, that the accuracy that you desire in that specific piece as you're putting these things together is something to pay attention to. And the metrics that we just spoke about in the previous slide are very, very important to keep in mind. Is it actually worthy enough? Is it doing the job? Is it just a matter of convenience, or is it actually increasing the accuracy and really having you save your time? So all of those things are important to measure across all of these solutions. But just keep in mind, as you're seeing these solutions in the market, they would fall into one of these categories. Cool. With that, let's segue into our second poll. Which of these solutions have you tried? These are the 4 broad categories we just spoke about. And if I missed any categories here, please choose the option E, tell us about it, drop a message in the chat. So the first one again here, just to quickly brief RPA, is that rules-based automations. If you just are creating rules for categorization, matching, I would probably put that all into A. Chat GPT-like solutions are any kind of LLM-like solutions, or if you're just using Chat GPT to ask questions on certain things and being able to do accounting using that, all that would fit into B. Vertical AI solutions are end-to-end to do specific types of jobs. And agentic solutions are, you're just firing off an agent to do a specific job and having agents to do different parts of your workflow. All right, so the Chat GPT-based solution seems to have the highest votes. And I do have the next one is none. So there are probably more categories and more solutions that folks are using. And interesting to see that there are not many rules-based automations that people are deploying, and still not much of agentic play, and not much of vertical accounting AI solutions being used as well. So that's very good to know. Would love to know more about how you're using ChatGPT in your day-to-day accounting workflows. Feel free to drop a message in the chat, and would love to give more thoughts on this from our side as well. So with that, let's talk about how Docket is offering its solutions in the accounting automation space. Docket, in the four categories that we spoke about, Docket fits into the vertical AI based solution. It uh, it focuses on automating the core of the bookkeeping, which is very much focused on bank and credit card reconciliation around the transactions matching, closing of banks and credit cards. And it also has more advanced reporting and industry-specific solutions for specific types of industries as well. But again, very, very limited set of industries at this time. Maybe down the line, there will be more and more we'll be able to launch. But right now, its core solution space is around bank and credit card reconciliation, doing bookkeeping around that. Just to talk about how this, a little bit of background on how the AI tech and architecture was built and how it's actually solving this specific verticalized solution well. This is a giant suite of models. It's an architecture. This suite of models is built on 9 billion plus accounting parameters. It's been trained over several years on different kinds of businesses, which have spanned 20 plus verticals. Over these years, the kind of data that has been used in these businesses, as it has been actively serving these businesses and doing their bookkeeping. The important piece here is the kind of data quality that goes into this this model suite. So it's extremely clean data that was actually used to close the books for these businesses. And at the end of it, it has brought in a 9 billion plus accounting parameters-based model suite with knowledge across 20 plus verticals. So then with this kind of with this kind of parameter set, this model is able to do bookkeeping at a very high quality with a very high precision to a significant probability. So for example, if you deploy this on any of these new businesses, or if you train it on any of the new clients' data, we see month over month, sometimes in certain verticals, precision to be high up to like the coverage of automatic categorization and bookkeeping on bank and credit card transactions to be upwards of, in certain cases, over 95% as well. Now, how this whole system works is it is, of course, all these 9 billion plus parameters that have trained this model have brought into it the innate knowledge of doing the categorization on transactions and documents data. But even if it's very specific clients of yours that you would deploy this model on, it would be able to learn based on that client data and be able to do the categorization and accounting of that client based on how the accounting has been historically done for that client. And Docket's focus with this architecture is also to give you hands-off bookkeeping. What that means is at the end of the day, if your involvement is least in making sure that the bookkeeping was done right, then you really can lean on it to do that job. So it's very outcome focused to ensure that you get the outcome of hands-off bookkeeping that you're desiring for the system to do for the clients that you deploy this on. It is purpose trained for accounting. It's not an architecture that has been fed data from the legal perspective or any other domains, but it's very specific clean data of accounting that has been used to get the system ready, giving that kind of confidence on the categorizations, reconciliation, month-end flows that it delivers. And again, the confidence that in certain cases when it's categorizing the transactions is very close to 100% as well. So it is able to do the job of categorizing, reconciling, and whenever the confidence is slightly less, um, then um, then it is able to write the confidence that it requires to write. If it is less than that, then it would leave these kind of transactions uh, for review for humans on your side to be able to review and make that call. And if you're as you're making as you're actually categorizing these transactions, it also feeds into the system. So the next time its confidence level starts increasing, so that you'll see month over month, it just starts doing majority of the job by itself. Another focus in Docket Solution is to keep your brand forward. So you would see a white labeled your brand put forth in front of your clients. So for example, a white labeled portal for your clients to be able to address certain issues which AI is not fully confident about to finish the job. Any outlier transactions, any random checks out of your accounts, sometimes even documents like bank statements, which are needed to um, close the books at the end of the month. In such cases, your clients would get a branded portal where they can upload statements and give feedback on these transactions. Another important piece in this AI is what we call as the precision AI. This is where AI is when it's extremely confident by looking at historical data of the clients, that categorization or specific tasks like reconciliation have to be done a certain way. If it has historically seen that, it will be able to go and do that categorization and reconciliation without you having to build any rules and also enhance any rules. And it also uses this information to initially just roll out the accounting work on a brand new client, which you might want to deploy it on. But if you have historical data on the client, this can learn from it. And as you're initially as you're initially taking care of any of the transactions which need your review, it also keeps updating its rules and ensuring that it does it based on those rules. Now, as you're doing this accounting, another important automation that it brings on is at the end of the month, before the books are done, um, uh, Docket's AI also does a quality check on the books. This is where you get another review of a specific type of transactions, which could be anomalies in your ledger. Now, anything that you might be doing in anomaly checks, like a general ledger or general ledger analysis or variance checks, all of those checks would result in um, any anomalies, wrong categorizations. That's also something the AI would be able to find and present to you for your final review as you're closing out the books of the clients. We'll cover this next in a short demo, but that's just an overall quick run of the power of Docket AI. So now we're going to dive into the product. This is a quick screenshot of the dashboard summarizing various things that you would go through in a bookkeeping workflow and how you would see Docket doing this bookkeeping workflow for your clients. It starts off with bank and credit card connections. As you're connecting your accounts, the transactions are coming in into Docket. It categorizes those transactions. It starts, that's where the automation on categorization happens. It follows up with reconciling and making sure that at the end of the month with the bank statements and the credit card statements submitted into Docket, it can do the reconciliation of the balances of the bank. And then it does an anomaly check after you've reconciled to make sure there are no wrong categorizations, no anomalies in your balances month over month, quick variance check and seeing if any anomalies are coming from there. And once you reviewed that, you can confidently go and close the books. That's a very quick walkthrough of the bookkeeping workflow that it provides. Of course, in the details, there might be more, but at a high level, this is what it does. So let's dive into a live product view of how this workflow happens. Give me a second here as I'm bringing my other window up. So what you're seeing here is your dashboard in Docket. Once you are setting this up, this would list out, you would see a list of all your clients in your practice. What we give you is a quick preview of what Docket's AI architecture can do, assuming you're doing the books of your clients. You already have, for some of these clients, books done, let's say for the past year, 2024, and beyond that point, the books are in progress. How can AI go and learn from your historical data how the books have been done for these specific clients, and then help you find any anomalies in your in the books after 2024. So the first step starts off with activating these clients. We do support different general ledgers. Right now, we work with QuickBooks Online. We have Zero also coming in very soon. We're in the last stages of testing, and we also have plans to bring in some of the other ERPs in Q3. But the initial process of activating this is as simple as just clicking on this activate button, and it lets you connect the general ledger at this point. As soon as the general ledger, the connection to the general ledger is established, the system goes in and starts inspecting the historical data of that client. Now, at this point, the same set of models that we talked about in the slide earlier are innately already having the information to be able to do the books on this client. But before it starts giving you suggestions on how the transactions have to be categorized or how the bookkeeping needs to be done, it first goes and inspects the historical data to make sure it can also learn client-specific accounting processes and rules. Once it does that, you see this button here to run your audit scan. And this is your first step into just seeing the power of AI in being able to inspect the books and being able to find some anomalies. Now, think of this as a piece where you might have a junior bookkeeping team who's doing your books, and you then have a senior accountant who has to inspect those books to find any anomalies, any variances, and fix the books before you really close out that the finances and send it to the client. So this is that portion of the bookkeeping workflow that AI is assisting with. We call this the audit scan. So you run this audit scan after a few hours, or depending on the size of the data that it's scanning and analyzing, it will come back with a set of anomalies. Now, in this specific case, it has found 58 anomalies as it has done this general ledger analysis. So let's take a look at what these would be. Here, let me bring in some suggestions as well that AI is making in terms of as it's inspecting these transactions. So if you just take a look at these are all general ledger transactions presented here for a quick review. This specific transaction has been categorized in the past as a vendor secretary of state with taxes and licenses. And after inspecting historically the data, AI here is predicting that the vendor should be L2G. There is a vendor L2G in there, and uh, yeah, it should be predicted. It should be the vendor should be L2G for this case. If you look at this other transaction, which is similar, um, also belonging to vendor L2G, but in this specific case, it has been categorized in the past as Chase credit card as the vendor for some odd reason. It's been booked into bank charges and fees. And here AI is suggesting that the vendor is inaccurate. The chart of account also needs fixing. And it's suggesting the vendor should be state of Tennessee. The chart of account should be taxes and licenses, which is probably right considering the kind of transaction detail that's available here. So this is just a preview of one specific case where it could help find anomalies in the bookkeeping work that's being done. And in certain cases, you would also have incorrect anomalies suggested. For example, here it's predicting the chart of account should be uncategorized expense. It just might be that historically this specific transaction has been categorized into uncategorized expense, but in this case, what we saw earlier was a feedback concept is important with AI, where you can give a feedback. So here, a feedback has been given to this specific prediction that it's not correct. So once you give these thumbs up and thumbs down, a way to give your inputs to AI, so it takes that feedback in, starts learning, and then the next time you're using the same functionality, it would keep your feedback in mind as it's making predictions for new anomalies. This is just an anomaly detection feature that we are seeing here. In Docket, you would also have, as you upgrade these specific lines, you would also have options to pick specific set of these anomaly suggestions. And just with one click, ask AI to go and accept these fixes and make changes into the GL as well. In which cases it just goes to those specific anomalies and puts in fixes for those entries. So that's one quick area where AI can help. Docket does provide the option for an upgrade as well. If this is something where you would just be able to run a scan on all your clients and see this activated. But beyond this point, if you would like the full hands-off bookkeeping, there is an upgrade option to upgrade and actually have AI be able to do the categorizations, reconciliations, and such. Let me take you through the upgrade experience next and very quickly dive into how that end-to-end workflow would be taken care of if you upgrade any client for full bookkeeping, or for what we call as the bank and credit card based bookkeeping. Now, as you upgrade, the two key functions that are required for the client is connection to the bank feed. If Docket is going to be categorizing the bank and credit card transactions, it will need access to the bank feed. So you will have to connect the bank feed and then providing at the end of the month the bank and the credit card statements that are required for the month-end reconciliation. So what you're seeing here is an upgraded experience. Let's actually, before we dive into this connections, let's also take a look at what the dashboard would look like once you upgrade. Give me a sec here while I bring the dashboard up. Okay. So once you upgrade, you do get additional things unlocked in your dashboard. The specific, depending on what plans you upgrade into, you would see more functionalities on this dashboard. But for the purposes of just the very first upgrade to unlock the bank and the credit card categorization reconciliation, The specific areas that you would see are reconciliation, where you would see any uncategorized transactions, the variance analysis also being available now for specific lines, the general ledger analysis, finding any general ledger anomalies that we already saw, and specific visibility into the month end, how many accounts have actually been reconciled, how far ago was the last time you actually closed the books, and then also some practice management related collaboration features as well. You would have a white labeled portal which you can invite your clients to. And if there's any transactions which need their input, or if there's any bank and credit card statements you would like your clients to upload, they can do that in that portal. There is also communication mechanism where you can communicate with your clients through inbuilt chat into the product, and the clients can communicate with you from, again, apps that are white labeled as well. We have an iPhone app and an Android app where your clients can interact with you from these apps as well. So that's more around the collaboration, more around practice management offerings. And when we go inside a specific business, the first most important thing is the ability to be able to connect the bank and credit cards. Here you are seeing a list of bank and credit card accounts for this business. As you're able to live connect them, you would see them connected here. And these connections are also something where you're onboarding your clients initially, they would be able to do it on their portal. And if the connections do get disconnected on the client's portal, clients are able to just go and individually connect those disconnected accounts as well. So in that way, there is collaboration that you have with your clients to be able to maintain connectivity to these bank and credit card accounts. Once these accounts are connected, Docket's AI is now able to use all its learning on all this client's data historically that it just did and that we saw earlier, where it was able to find anomalies in your current books. But once you upgrade, you're able to use that same AI and its learning to be able to categorize transactions as you go through it. Now here, you have no rules to build, no rules to manage as you're deploying the client. AI is doing that all intrinsically. Now, how it's doing it here is these are transactions that you're seeing in the bank and the credit card accounts. And this icon over here, the windmill icon, is an indication that here AI has fully understood these types of transactions, and it is categorizing them into specific vendors, specific chart of accounts, based on what it understands as the best categorization for these type of transactions in that client. And it does that based on its internal confidence that it builds. And here, as you're seeing, month over month, actually there is a very high degree of automatic AI doing the categorization here. But then here is one where you have a different icon, and this is an indication that this is a type of transaction for Uber One that AI has not seen before. It is not confident that it can go ahead and write it. So again, when the confidence is really close to 100%, that's when it goes and writes this. Otherwise, it leaves this. And this confidence is also something we do provide as a configuration. So you'll have the options that if you prefer it to just even go ahead and write it for something over 80% as an example, you should be able to do that. But naturally, but by default, without having you to set that configuration, it ensures that the confidence is very close to 100% when it goes and writes it. So month over month, lots of transactions do get categorized automatically, and you now not have to manage any rules or do any of that heavy lifting in terms of categorizing it manually. Now, as these transactions get categorized, bank feed sometimes is incorrect. It might have something missed. It might have some duplicate transactions. So a month-end reconciliation is really the final sanity check that still needs to be done before the finances can be finalized. The financials can be finalized for tax returns, or in some cases sharing with lenders and such. So this is where the month-end piece comes into play. Let's quickly take a look at one of the months, February 2024, in this demo account, which has been closed through the AI through the AI process. Now, the process that Docket's AI adopts is first you're seeing on the left side here all these bank and credit card accounts that we earlier connected for this demo account. And for this first one, which is a bank, it takes the month-end reconciliation in two steps. The first step is where it verifies that the bank feed that is connected, or if it's the transactions you have uploaded into the system, they are accurate as per the statement. So if we click on this icon here, you would see how that works. This is where it takes that bank statement that you're uploading in and is able to quickly validate that all the balances in the from all the transactions and such do match up with the statements. And if there's any transactions missing, it is also able to bring in those transactions so you don't have to manually enter in all those transactions, and with minimal number of clicks are able to make the difference down to zero. So that's the first step. The bank feed is accurate. And beyond that, the second step is about making sure that bank statement balance that you're seeing in the bank statement. And this last step is where it pulls the balance from the general ledger, which is QuickBooks in this case, and tries to resolve the discrepancies between these two. And if the difference between these two is zero, then it goes ahead and finishes off the reconciliation. And sometimes the difference could be because you might have some uncleared payroll transactions, sometimes some checks, some revenue deposits, but it's able to give you all that clarity by bringing those specific transactions here in these sections for you. And then, you get more details of it as you click into this to exactly see those transactions as you're closing out this month. So in this manner, it just goes through all of these accounts and is able to close out these accounts, make sure the balances are also reconciled, and it completes the process. So this, let's go back into the deck, but this is a very quick walkthrough of that bookkeeping workflow. Just to summarize again, connect your bank credit card transactions, watch them getting categorized, have them reviewed again by a quality agent to make sure there are no anomalies, and then just close out once all the anomalies are resolved. So with that, let's get into the next poll. How is your firm evaluating the AI automation vendors that are coming your way today? I did see earlier a lot of ChatGPT-like solutions. Now, that might just be using ChatGPT directly, or are you using any solutions which are wrappers around different LLMs or ChatGPT-like solutions? Answer these questions with what you're using today, how you're using to evaluate these vendors. Let's just talk through these solutions as well while you're answering this. The first one here is making sure the accuracy is at par at what you would like for these for the solution that you're adopting, and how much do you have to engage in, and how much can you really let the solution complete the job for you and you can trust it. Second is security, a very important piece as well, making sure all the right compliances are in place. SOC 2 Type 2 is what Docket provides, but you should ensure that there are all kinds of audit trails and decertifications in place. Integrations, very hard for clients to change their general ledgers or change their existing systems. So is that a solution providing all the right integrations that is going to cause the least disruption to your practice and to your clients? Then option D is the ROI. How much is the setup time? How much is what does the ROI look like? Option E is about fast implementation. And F is an important consideration as well. How much of your brand is the solution putting forward? Are you getting all the white labeled solution and options for your clients? And any also, are you asking for references and case studies? And if you haven't yet selected a vendor, choose the last option and provide us any. Why haven't you selected a vendor yet? All right, so pretty much mixed option answers here. Here, the most popular one is the fast implementation and strong support. Looks like everybody wants to, yes, spend the least amount of time in implementing. They want it up and running fast, and of course, full support. So that makes sense. Security and compliance is the next popular one, and then integrations with all the existing systems, with the GLs, having AP systems and AR systems that your clients might be using, integrations with those as well. Cool. So let's move on. I know we are a little bit over time here, and this is the second last slide I have. The vendor evaluation list. What are you looking at as you're evaluating the vendors? These are some of the things we already touched upon, but these are all the important things for you to keep in mind as you're evaluating vendors to modernize your practice. The ROI, and this is in perspective of talking about, it just applies to any solution you might be looking at. You have to ensure the time savings are to your liking. In the case of Docket, it is able to provide the month-end close up to 5x times faster. Clean books, accuracy is very important. You want to make sure the books are something you can trust and not really have to be spending time reviewing all the work and ensuring the books are clean. Scalable growth, having the ability to be able to have at least a good factor 3x or more the number of clients you would be able to scale your practice to versus without the AI solutions. And we have been able to achieve this kind of scale for clients that have, for accounting firms that have now started adopting us. And these are numbers from the last 5 to 6 months when we really come out with this platform for the accounting firms. This is the kind of scale that we have been seeing. Unlocking higher value services. At the end of the day, if you're walking away from bookkeeping and the mundane services around bookkeeping, you want to ensure that you can spend more time on the client relationships. You can spend more time on higher billable services like client advisory, putting that face time with the client, helping them grow, helping in the planning, because at the end of the day, those are higher value add services where you can charge the most as well and add the most value to. Some quotes from some of our clients, some of our accounting firms. For this specific firm, the time savings was observed, and this specific firm has quoted about the important piece about expecting the books to be clean, in addition to being able to grow their firm. If you can trust a system to provide clean books, naturally you have more time to get more clients. So spend time on some questions, which let's see if any have come our way. If there are questions at this time, please send them in the chat as well. I will spend a couple minutes. I know we are running over time. I'll spend a couple minutes taking some of these questions, and then we'll follow up after the webinar. Okay, I have one question here. Which of these AI limits have you run into before? Options are poor scan quality, changing rules, or integration issues. So actually, there has been a little bit of all of these. Obviously, if the sometimes if the invoices or any other documents are scanned and they're not clear, you would have to have the end client, or in your case, if you have that understanding of what that document is about, the user has to be able to provide information on those documents. So that happens, but most importantly, it's about changing rules, where you constantly have to add new rules as new integrations are being made, or as new transactions or invoices or vendors are being discovered. That seems to be a significant pain, but I would say that is also where Docket's AI solution naturally helps out, because it is the one that is managing the rules for you automatically, and it's establishing the right rules based on how it's seeing any kind of transaction or document being handled in the system. So yeah, I think mostly changing rules, and then once in a while the quality of the scan or any transactions which are not clear enough. There's one more question on how confident are you in the accuracy of your current categorization reconciliation process? So Docket's AI stack is broken down into two categories. One is what we call as the precision AI stack, and another is the predictive AI stack. And these are, again, a bunch of models, in certain case, a specific type of architecture, which is using the data in a certain way to deliver precision or its prediction when it is not a very high, when it doesn't have a high confidence, close to 100%, it gives you its confidence level on that kind of prediction. But the way these two stack of AI models are separated is when precision AI is able to make a decision, it is close to 100% confident by looking historically at how the categorizations and accounting coding has been done for that specific client. So in that case, you can expect the accuracy to be really high. And then in the case of predictive AI, when it is doing any kind of predictions, it is able to at least give you the confidence at which it is able to make that decision. So now you have the ability to see all those predictions as well, which might have been done with less than, let's say, 80% confidence. So you still get to see the predictions made by precision AI with 100% confidence, anything with less than 80% confidence. And that's how you're able to adjudicate which are the transactions that need your attention at the end of the month. And the quality of books agent that is also provided by Docket inspects the work that's been done in terms of categorization um, from the quality angle, by doing the general ledger analysis, by doing the variance analysis. So that gives you another level of check before you can ensure that you can trust the books being delivered by Docket AI. Cool. So I know we are out of time here, so we'll pause here. But if there are any other questions, please drop us a note and we'll get back to you. Also, if there's more interest in learning about Docket and its solutions, please scan this code, drop us a note. We have a special promotion which is almost ending. We are close to the end of the month. But if you book a demo and decide to move on, we do have the platform fee waived. The platform fee covers a lot of practice management features and a little bit of this end of the month quality of books check with variance analysis and general ledger analysis. All that is part of the platform fee, even if you're not having Docket do the full end-to-end bookkeeping. That fee would be waived. So yeah, if you're interested, book a demo here. thank you for taking out the time today. And hopefully you get to learn from this and see how you can best make decisions for your firm as you're picking up these AI solutions. Thank you, everyone.